I'm originally from right outside of St. Louis, Missouri, and I moved to the Kansas City area when I was 9 years old. My mom was getting divorced from a domestic violence relationship, and she met someone online that was from Kansas City. So my mom packed us up and we moved across the state. Not long after beginning the relationship, it also turned abusive towards her. And there were so many times of me running out of the house and running down a really busy, not safe street to go to the one house of someone that I knew to ask for help. His abuse turned physically on me. And I think for my mom, that was really the last straw. They were able to safely remove him from the home. She was still working. We were packing up our things in this house. She had no idea where we were going to go. And a friend of hers that she worked with told her about a place in Kansas City called Hope House. They just helped with a variety of things. And I remember sitting in the car with my mom and her specifically telling her friend, I don't have anything to lose. You know, I hated these guys that my mom was with and I wanted the opposite, but at the same time, I found myself with that same kind of stereotypical person. It got very physical in many different ways. He became extremely controlling. I was 16 years old having to check in with my boyfriend. The control got worse. The verbal abuse, the mental abuse got a lot worse. And I even found myself being financially abused. One of the last times that he was ever abusive to me, we were driving and he had a lot of tattoos and he's telling me about how no tattoo artist would touch another tattoo artist's tattoo on someone. And I thought he was kind of joking. So I kind of laughed it off and was just like, whatever. And then he punched me. I remember his fist hitting one side of my face and the other side of my face hitting the glass on the window. I had bleeding, I had cuts from the rings that he was wearing. So after that, I remember him dropping me off at my car and me spending the last $6 that I had to go into Walmart and get cheap makeup to cover it all up. And again, I was in a situation where I felt like I couldn't tell anyone about the abuse that I experienced because he had already painted a picture of me that I felt like everyone believed. I didn't tell my mom, and I think for me, that's one of my biggest regrets. When I finally told my mom, it just kind of came up one day. She was telling me that she ran into my ex and had always wondered, why did you guys break up? You know, you never told me. And I couldn't lie. I couldn't look at my own mom, who was a domestic violence survivor, and lie to her. I genuinely finally felt free from the chains that he put around me and the chains that I kept there. There is good in what I experienced. There is good in me being able to see horrible relationships that you went through, because although I didn't necessarily have a lot of experience of what a good relationship is, I have a lot of experience of what a bad relationship is. And just by me knowing that, I know what to look out for. And I met someone that went to a different high school who was the complete opposite of my first boyfriend. My now husband and I have been together for 13 years. We went through hard times together. When we first got together, his mom was in her own abusive marriage that had been abusive since he was a tiny little boy. Because of what him and I went through, we are now able to raise our daughter in an environment of love. A life free of abuse. And I think too that someday when she's older, she's gonna say to herself, does this man love me like my daddy loves me? Does this man love me like my daddy loves my mom? And that's what makes it all worth it, is ending that cycle of abuse, bringing her up in a life free of abuse. Because of kind of the therapy that my mom received and seeing how impactful that was for her, that started my love for wanting to be a therapist someday. And I just knew I wanted to help people. And I saw that Hope House was hiring, and I thought, I don't know if I qualify for it, but I'm applying because I just want to be there. Just being able to say and tell other people, yes, I work for Hope House, that is a huge honor. We both just cried, talking about how genuinely crazy that life is, that this place that was there when she needed it most, when I needed it most, is now gonna be the place where I get to call home, and I get to call home again in a way. I think it's an opportunity for me to give back in the same way that someone once gave to me. And I hope in some ways that it helps them to look at me and say to themselves, okay, well, she was here and she got out of it, and look at where she's at now. If she can do it, I can do it too, and my kids can do it too. And this doesn't have to be an end of the road. This doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world. It's beyond just a dream job. It is a dream life. It is a dream family. And I could not be luckier.